Parshas Kisei Tzei, dedicated to my beautiful wife Elisheva. We sang the shir for the Aliyas Neshama of Ariel Leib ben Shmuel, for Pesach Basdor, for Refuah Shleima, for Sarah Rochel Bas Itka, Phyllis Bas Itka, Shimshon ben Reza, Malka Bas Freidel, for Shlomo ben Freidel, for David ben Ilana, for Bracha Tamar Bas Chana, for Arya ben Leah, Soch Shar Chole Yisrael, for Bracha Naslocha, for Elisheva Bas Sarah Imenu Tzvi ben Ruven Gershon, Shlomo ben David Avram ben Okaman ben Ben Zion, Yosef Moshe ben Yisrael, Yosef Yonatan ben Shmuel ben Akiva Tzvi ben Tzvi, Shmuel Yosef ben Avram, for Zalman Leib ben Avram, for Gil ben Ariel Leib, for Aaron Rafael ben Akiva Tzvi, Rochel Bas Akiva Tzvi, Batya Bas Akiva Tzvi, and for Azivu, for Chana Simcha Bas Avram Avinu, for Osher ben Zion ben Yafa, and for Aliyah, for David ben Menachem Mendel. There's a fascinating Gemara in Baba Batra which teaches the following. Tana Rabbanan, the rabbis taught in a brisa, Shloisha iman HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba'olam hazeh. There were three people who Hashem gave a taste of the world, this world, me'ein olam haba, of a semblance in the world to come. Ilu, who were they? Eluheim, Avram, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. How do we know this? Says the Gemara. It says that by Avram it is written Bakol, that Hashem blessed Avram with everything. By Yitzchak it is written Mikol, that it was written that he ate from everything, the verse referring to Yitzchak. And by Yaakov it is written Kol. When Hashem said to him, when Yaakov came and he made a statement and he said, I have Kol, I have everything. And these expressions of Kol indicate that the Avos enjoyed every possible brocha and had even a taste of Olam Haba in this world. So, there were three people, says the Gemara, that the Yetzer Hara had no power over. And who was that? Avram, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. As the Pasuk says, Bakol, Mikol, and Kol. And then the Gemara continues and says there's another added opinion that says that it would also include David HaMelech. And one of those things that was blessed with everything was David HaMelech. And the Gemara carries on, and it tells us that there were 6 people who there were 6 people who the Malach HaMavet, the angel of death, didn't have any dominion over. And it says their souls were taken by Kadosh Baruch Hu himself. And who were these 6 people? It was Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, because we can see that the verse talks about that when it talks about Avram, it is Bakol. When it talks about Yitzchak, it says Mikol. And when it talks about Yaakov, it says Kol. And Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam, where do we know this from? It says that Moshe and Aaron, when they died, it says they died Al Pi Hashem. And Al Pi Hashem means that it was done with a kiss from God. And here it includes Miriam as well. So now asks the Gemara, Rabbi Elazar says, but didn't Miriam also die through a kiss? So the Gemara learns out that it says the word that they were buried, Moshe and Aaron were buried Sham, and by Miriam it also says that she was buried Sham. It says the word Sham over there, and the Gemara learns a Gezerah Shova connects those two ideas together, and those two ideas, when they connected together, teach us that those 3 people all died a kiss of death. Now, when we bench every single day, when we have our Birkat HaMazon, We say the words Harachamanu v'rechotanu v'et kol ashelanu sheibauchu avotenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov bakol mikol kol kein yevarechotanu kulanu yachad. And we learn that this over here was the essence of they were blessed bakol, with everything. And it says that Eov also had an inkling of the world to come, but he didn't merit to be part of this whole essence of the Avos, because by Avram he was connected to the energy of Bakol, of knowing that he was blessed with everything. And the Gemara comes and it learns out all different realities of what does it mean to be blessed Bakol. And when we go through the differences between Yaakov and Esav, the differences between Yaakov and Esav find themselves in the Torah of defining them through the words. It says that Yaakov says, Akol kol Yaakov, when Yitzchak was blessing his children, he says this is the voice of Yaakov, but these are the Yadayim Yadai Esav, but these hands are the hands of Esav. The power of that exists in the world of Esav is through his hands. And the power of Yaakov, his energy and power that exists, is through his voice. And we see that the word for voice, kol, sounds exactly the same as the word kol that we use as well, which means for everything, blessed with everything. Because one is spelt with a kuf and one is spelt with a chof. But the sounding is exactly the same. And when we take a look at the blessings that were given to the forefathers, that they saw that they were blessed by kol, and they were blessed mikol, and they were blessed also as Yaakov comes along and says blessed bakol, that everything was the blessed, that everything they saw came from Hashem. It was the essence of everything. But when we come and we recognize where does that everything lead us, what is the power of the Jewish people, it is in the kol Yaakov. And only when we can establish ourselves with the kol Yaakov, which is the voice of Yaakov, which is the energy of the Jewish people, which is utilizing the power of our dibur and our power of our speech, that is really when we tap into the energy of what our forefathers tapped into. And that was the energy of kol, of what it is to know and see all the blessing in our life, to understand that everything is blessing, no matter what it is. When it comes and it looks like blessing, it's blessing, and when it doesn't look like blessing, it is still considered to be bracha from Shemayim. And our forefathers saw that. And then we see that our teacher Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron HaKohen, they both died in a shika, right, which is a kiss of death. And it doesn't mention that the same happened with Miriam, because she needed to learn it out through a Gezerah Shova, through another learning. And the reason is that because the Torah is so sensitive to our teachings of understanding, that when it's talking about a kiss, it didn't want to have that there's a male-female kissing. It didn't want to bring that in, even though then Miriam also experienced that. So the sensitivity of the Torah is that we recognize the purity of everything that exists, the purity of what it means to connect to the creator of the universe, to see that our forefathers were given the opportunity to become connected to Hashem by kol, with everything, by using their kol, their voice. And now during Elul, we take our voice out and we say the words, LeDavid Hashem Oiri, that Hashem, I want to be b'shifti b'veis Hashem kol yemei chayai, that I want to be sitting in your house all the days of my life. And that's the bracha that we all ask for, that we want to be connected, just like David HaMelech, who was also one of those that created that energy in the world. So he also brought into the concept of shifti b'veis Hashem kol yemei chayai, to sit in the house of Hashem all the days of our life. And that's the energy that we are tapping into. When we go and we say the blessings of our forefathers every day, of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and we ask Hashem to give us rachamim on their behalf, we ask Him because they connected to the energy of kol, of everything, of bakol, of mikol, and of kol, and of recognizing that the energy that exists with each and every one of us is in our voice, which is our kol. And now we're going to experience the kol shofar, which is the energy of going and piercing through, awakening our souls to be able to connect to Hashem on a very deep and meaningful level. So that's really the essence of the the concept of connecting to Hashem, and that's what we have to do when we bless Hashem, when we're benching tonight, and when we bench every day. We should keep this in mind and understand that this is the energy that we can all tap into, and we should be blessed all together by call.